everyone, and welcome to the Week 5 edition of Instant Replay, where I give you my take on the most controversial calls of the weekend. I'm Simon Borg. We started RFK Stadium, where there could have been a red card as early as the 4th minute. DC midfielder Lewis Neal is the guilty party with the studs-up tackle on Andrew Farrell that only gets a yellow card. But Neal isn't done. Later in the first half, he does it again to Farrell. That should have also been a red card, or at least a second yellow. But referee Jorge Gonzalez doesn't pull out a card. Neal has been fortunate to get away with these kind of tackles this year. Look at this studs-up challenge on the Crew's Will Trap in Week 1. That only got a yellow. Now, DC United fans will argue that the Revolution's Andy Dorman should have also seen red in the 76th minute. But we don't get a good second look at this challenge on Davy Arno, who you can see here insists that Dorman came in with his studs showing. Now, Dorman was already carrying a yellow, but the ref does not show Dorman any cards. Two more plays to look at from this one. In the 80th minute, there was a shot for a DC PK when Fabián Espíndola goes down on this challenge from José Gonçalves. No way! The reverse angle shows Espíndola is already going down before his shoe comes off. Then, just minutes later, Charlie Davies was punished for a dive outside the DC box, and he's issued a yellow card. But was it really a dive? You see here, he steps on the defender's foot, which causes him to trip up. I think it may have been harsh, but Davies wasn't arguing the card. His coach, Jay Heaps, may have been, however. It's one reason that might explain his dismissal just moments later.
The home crowd more than happy to give Heaps the raspberry.
No raspberries were being exchanged in Kansas City for the MLS Cup rematch between Sporting and RSL. It finished 0-0, but Sporting had an argument for 2 penalty kicks. First, in the 51st minute, Nat Borchers seems to throw Graham Zusi off balance with his right arm, but referee Armando Villarreal, who's in perfect position, doesn't call it. And then, in the 80th minute, there's a throw-in into the box, and what looks like a handball to me by RSL's Devin Sandoval. No whistle there either. The referee did not hesitate with the red card to Oriol Rosell in the 83rd minute, and I agree. Although he's not going in high, the studs are showing, and Rosell is out of the game. Some wanted another red card for Sporting KC when Claudio Bieler whacked RSL's Nat Borchers in the head. But we have a different angle of the play. It's not an elbow, just a reckless arm, and it was rightly punished by a yellow card. Next up, we head to Montreal for Impact versus Red Bulls and a play that will surely draw a chuckle. It's the 24th minute and New York's Kosuke Kimura gives a little nudge to Montreal's Marco Di Vaio, but he waits a little too long before going down. There was no doubt about the PK awarded to the visiting Red Bulls in the 47th minute. Matteo Ferrari gets both arms on Bradley Wright Phillips, but the real question on this play is whether Ferrari should have seen red for denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. I think so, and so does New York's Mike Petke.
And Mike Petke.
Staying in Canada, and we head to Vancouver, where there was a great call by assistant referee Matthew Kreitzer in the 15th minute. Vancouver's Darren Maddox is in fact slightly offside at the moment of the pass. No argument on that one, but the Whitecaps have a case for 2 penalty kicks. First, in the 28th minute, I feel that Jose Mari makes himself big and extends his left arm to deflect this ball in the box. And then in the 39th minute, goalkeeper Clint Irwin surely touches the ball, but he also gets Kenny Miller in the follow-through. I would have awarded the spot kick, but referee Ioannis Starvidis didn't think so. The most controversial play of the game, it's the second yellow to Matias Laba in the 77th minute for this handball that prevented Colorado's Nick LaBroca from racing into the attack. That's spot on by the referee. Not only is he denying LaBroca possession of the ball, but he's also stopping a promising attack. No doubt about it. I thought the LA Galaxy's Juninho deserved a red card of his own in the 34th minute of Sunday's Superclásico. Look how he goes in studs up on Agustin Pelletieri right under the nose of referee Drew Fisher, who does not think it's even worthy of a card. At 0-0, it could have been a game changer, because just 3 minutes later, LA's Robbie Keane scored a goal which was dubious in its own right. Does he knock the ball out of the goalkeeper's possession with his hand? It's not the best angle, but based on the trajectory of the ball, that's what it sure looks like. It's tough to see in real time, but regardless, it's a goal that, in my opinion, should not have stood. However, Chivas USA did get a break in this game. In the 53rd minute, Mauro Rosales clearly fouls Stefan Ishizaki inside the box, but no infraction is whistled. Play on, says the ref. The officiating crew should have allowed play to continue in the 70th minute. Assistant referee Oscar Mitchell Carvalho flags Landon Donovan for an offside when he looks in line with the last defender. It's not like he would have gotten to the all-time record-breaking goal anyway, because he passed the ball. One more play to look at from StubHub Center. It's the 83rd minute, and Dan Gargan absolutely flattens Mauro Rosales in the box. Man, I need a neck brace just watching that. I thought the Chicago Fire should have had a penalty kick late in their match versus Philadelphia. It's the 89th minute, and Dilly Duke is working his magic in the box before getting sandwiched by Mo Adu and Shannon Williams. No call by referee Chris Penso, who did call a spot kick in the 5th minute of stoppage time. This is a no-brainer. Defender Aaron Wheeler with the high leg on Juan Luis Anangono, but Union goalkeeper Zach McMath comes through for Wheeler. Moving to Portland, where there are 3 plays to look at from the Cascadia derby. First, in the 33rd minute, the Timbers were lucky not to go down a man when Pa Moduka goes in, studs up on Gonzalo Pineda. He gets a yellow card from referee Eladio Grajera, but in my opinion, it was worthy of a red card for endangering the safety of an opponent. It's the 2nd straight week that Ka gets off scot-free on one of these. You'll recall this brutal tackle on Kellen Acosta, which only received a yellow. I thought there was a second Timbers player who should have been sent off in stoppage time. Check out this elbow by Frederic Piquillon on Seattle's Gonzalo Pineda. Sorry, but I'm not buying that it's the regular motion of a player defending the ball. Look at how Piquillon angles the elbow upwards. I guess the disciplinary committee might get involved on this. The Sounders' equalizing penalty also came late in the game, in the 87th minute. It's crystal clear. DeAndre Yedlin beats Ben Zemanski to a ball in the box, and Zemanski trips him. Some Timbers fans were up in arms about Yedlin, saying that he was hoping to draw the penalty. What's so scandalous about that? Good job by Yedlin. And we end in Houston for another heated derby between Houston Dynamo and FC Dallas. But what happened in the 39th minute was no crime of passion. Javon Watson has his head up and doesn't know he's stepping on Brad Davis's foot. Just a clumsy play. No intent there, although unfortunately for the Dynamo, Davis had to be subbed off. There were 2 penalty kicks whistled in the game by referee Ricardo Salazar. Dallas opens the scoring on a spot kick when Mauro Diaz goes down in the box, but I'm struggling to see where the foul is by Ricardo Clark, and the replays are just too distant. The other penalty came in the second half, and there are questions about this one too, because of where the foul happens. When we freeze frame the video, it looks like the contact between Jair Benitez's leg and Kofi Sarkody's happens just outside the box, but it's a tough call to make. Either way, Chris Seitz takes care of nullifying that penalty with a great save on Bonya Garcia. But the turning point in this game was the David Horst red card in the 60th minute for this tackle along the sideline on Fabian Castillo. I think Salazar was spot on with his decision to eject Horst. Castillo was lucky to emerge from that one unscathed. And before Dynamo fans start complaining about the call, they should pull out the tape from last year's playoffs and the Jameson Olave send-off for this tackle on Houston's Omar Cummings. It was the same type of play, and curiously enough, the same referee. That's all we have for this week. For our editor John Benton, I'm Simon Borg. See you next time.